Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, where I have the unique pleasure of introducing to you the newest member of Team Liquid in StarCraft 2, appropriately in the blue. It's the People's Terran. It's Cure, up against a Protoss with a lot to prove. A bit of a wild card with bold strategies and bolder statements. He's recently commented that the newest balance patch, in his opinion, has made things even more favorable for Protoss against Terran. But I'd expect nothing less than such decisive commentary out of a player like Creator. He is the most emotional player, including Beyond, that I've ever seen play. Just the sheer drama of watching his facial expressions. Not even the gameplay. You can't even tell if he's winning or losing. But it's going to be exciting either way. And I hope you think so as well. And if you want exciting gameplay, dramatic statements, and, good games for the fans, it'll be awesome if you could like and subscribe. And Jimmy, what are we at? What? 1,181 likes on this video, on this series, on this cast. Okay, 1,180 and one dislike for that adept. And I'll cast another series. And I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get just a little bit better, as I am interested. I don't know if I want Creator to be proven right. I am also of the opinion that right now Protoss doesn't have a whole lot of options against Terran. And statistically overall, they've been struggling. There have been exceptions, but they kind of prove the rule. Cure is definitely one of those Terrans who's had continued success against Protoss as well. So I am very interested to see what Creator is bringing to the table here. He does feel like someone who, when asked to bring your own beer, would bring like a charcuterie board and a bottle of Fireball. So, no, just the board. The cheese is provided separate. Cure, what did you see? Cure pokes out with the Widow Mine. Just a single Widow Mine in the drop. He saw it. I think he just realized what he was looking at. There have been 3 Adepts. 2 Adepts killed the Reaper. 1 Adept died to the Reaper itself. Well, so good vengeance there. But I think now Cure realized it's Stargate. He was kind of on autopilot, almost literally until then. But on realizing it's likely to be Stargate, you almost never get that many Adepts. You're just trying to conserve gas, because Adepts in general are just not that great of an early game unit, unless they just kind of combine with Stargate units as something to help deal with Marines, whereas Stalkers, in general, usually transition into a better ground on. But Cure realizes it. He kind of sits back, turtles up. Meanwhile, Creator is going for Stargate Robo with a Colossus. I have to assume that's Colossus, Raj. He's going to go Phoenix Colossus. One of the oldest, I'm not going to say trick, but one of the oldest strategies in the Protoss arsenal. It is an incredibly strong one that is very brittle early on. If those Colossi get knocked out or, say, disabled by the interference matrix that Cure just researched, if the Phoenixes eat a Widowmine hit or 2, it becomes a lot more difficult to maintain the strength of the unit composition. But if Creator is able to build it up and keep Cure at bay, who's clearly doing a 2-base time, he's got 1/1/1, stim, combat shield, +1 triple threat on the way. And if he's able to keep this at bay, he pokes in, sees the Ravens, sees the Marines, the Cyclone. He's got a good idea. And at this point, Cure not even going to bother. Wow, he's building multiple turrets. Cure not a stingy player, though. I'm never a big fan of salvaging the bunker. Okay, that just seems like you're asking for charge slots to come in and ruin your game 3 minutes from now. But Cure isn't planning for 3 minutes from now. He's planning for 30 seconds from now. He's already got interference matrix done. Widow Mine from the top of the refinery there. Does get a connection. Doesn't kill any Phoenixes. Combat shield is still a little ways away, +1, more distant. But there is interference matrix. That's only a Colossus and a handful of gateway units. One immortal in the back. All right. Interference matrix used. Phoenixes must have been recalled here. The force field strongly suggests that Cure leave the premises. Cure respectfully disagrees. The Raven, another interference matrix, re-scrambles the Colossus, but it appears like the ground army, with shield battery overcharge and the immortal to hold it down, is enough. A strong and confident hold. From Creator. Wow. He read that perfectly. Cure really thought that a lot of players will see the centerpiece, or the centerpiece of the army, the Colossi, being disabled, and will kind of panic, even if they knew Interference Matrix was a threat. But I will say, Creator clearly knew he could take that fight, and he knew he could win it, which is an impressive level of confidence. But then again, as I mentioned, a very confident player, sometimes to a fault. You know, I'll see if he can capitalize on this situation. Gives up a Stalker to the Widowmine. 2 more trying to zone out the Phoenixes. Of course, those could be turned against Cure here. Oh, the sentries take the wrong road. Another inconveniencing force field. The Zealots do not have charge. In fact, I don't believe there's a Twilight Council. Coming up this ramp is looking incredibly difficult. Some more Marines are roasted. There are 3 Colossi. He's continuing to build Phoenix. Creator has not really added on too many probes. He's only at 56. There is no armory, so the Widowmines will be dealt with. Picks up one and manages to roast it away. The extended thermal lances here. There are no upgrades. The Twilight's only halfway done. This is a pure, just tech army composition out of Creator. I'm struggling with that one. Oh my God, where did all those Phoenixes come from? 9 of them now. Rarely do you see so many built after the initial phase of the game. Usually, they just seem like too much of a risk, but here, they are the opposite. Creator still keeping Cure pinned back. Cure is building up enough of a bio army. I think Creator is, he's just got a bunch of slow zealots. And those Phoenixes there, there's still that one Widowmine. Cure's holding. And he does have a strong bio army. If those Colossi get a little bit out of position, he drags out the mine hit. Very intentional. They'll expect one of us in the wreckage, brother. But there's like 6 mines. They'll expect 6 of us in the wreckage, brother. The Viking count continues to grow as Creator turns around and goes home. He recognizes when the pot is getting a little bit too close to boiling and doesn't want to be stuck in it when the critical mass of Marines and Marauders is able to get a good position. I think part of it is Creator clearly adding on tech himself. He's been intermittently adding probes. He's only at 65. The income is actually around even. In fact, Cure with a few mules is going to turn it the other way for now, but that Observer in a great spot. Creator, at 6 gates, going up to 9. How many Robos? Just the 1. Phoenix count, 11. And definitely the most important part. The Colossi are great, but without the Phoenixes, they're nothing. There's no blank. There's barely any anti-air. The Phoenixes are required to help deal with this. Otherwise, the Colossi will crumble. Now, those Phoenixes buffering here. The Vikings trade pretty well with them, despite being slightly cheaper. Ground weapons level 1 about to complete. A very low upgrade game so far. Is there an armory? An armory for Cure. He hasn't started 2-2, but Creator gonna try to make sure it never happens at all. The Marauders out in front, eating some of the swipes from the Colossi. EMPs across the board. Wash over the Phoenixes. And most of the energy is stripped away. The Widowmines at the front, though, taking so much damage, both in the air and on the ground. Those explosions don't discriminate. And in fact, the Phoenix count is cut down to 3, just like that. 2, 1. But there's enough Stalkers to ward away the rest of the Vikings. Creator chasing it down. The Vikings have whittled down the Phoenix count to almost nothing, but Creator is not going to be outdone. He's pushed him all the way back. He's rebuilding Phoenixes. He has a plan, and he's sticking to it. Looks like he's gonna go the Widowmine field. That spread, I can't believe it's not butter. Oh my. The mines dealt with. The Colossi, great swipes on the center mass. Trying to juggle, actually misses it. The EMP is helping out a lot as well. Cure is holding the line strongly. And once again, Creator takes a pass at him, but retreats with his Colossi. He's only lost one throughout this game. Cure is nearly maxed out, struggling towards getting a fourth. Finally, +2 attack on the way for both sides. But they both know how important the unit composition is compared to the actual upgrades. There's so much stuff that just wipes out units. Whether it's EMP, disruptors, 4 Colossi, I don't think any amount of armor upgrades is going to save your Marines from that. So overall, Creator now adding in pretty much the rest. He's got a second Robo Ruptors, Gravitic Drive for his Prisms, EMP softens up a Colossus. Ghost says die right as it does. And some charge lots into the main. A Viking, it looks like there was a turret or a Widowmine that softened it up, but now Cure is forced back by the oldest trick in the book, which is indeed the Warp Prism in the main, dragging a bunch of units back off the map, but Cure realizes he's not going to drag his entire army back. There's no reason to be bringing it there. Oh my, the engineering bay being repaired by a very brave SCV here during the entire battle. 3 barracks on the... Wait, how many? Oh, those are the same 3 barracks that weren't quite completed before. It looks like an SCV tasked with finishing them up. Just needed to cut the ribbon on them there. Couple charge lots coming in. Mostly, I think, more to keep tabs on Cure than to do real damage. Widowmine scattered throughout. And their ground weapons level 2 about to complete for Creator, drawing even, at least in the weapons, with Cure. He's got +1 armor done as well, of course. The charge lots come into the third again. Cure losing a few more SCVs, but his army is just massive right now. He's got 131. Creator ain't too far down. He's only got 72 probes. He's intentionally kept that probe count low, as he knows the dangers of not having enough army supply to deal with the critical mass of Terran. Fusion Core is on the way, almost certainly for advanced ballistics against the heavy robo composition. +1 ship weapons, in fact, is done, as +2 ship weapons. A meaningful upgrade, as +2 ship weapons allows Liberators to 2-shot Stalkers, or 1 shot after EMP. Which, that's just a huge boost there. And of course it helps out against, I don't think it changes any of the major breakpoints against Archons, but just doing that extra damage and potentially ping cushioning Stalkers is a huge deal. Things getting very dramatic now as the armies jockey for position. Cure has a small army to the right flank, a slightly larger one. Nuclear missile is on the way. Widowmine on the high ground. Observer in a great spot there for Creator. He sees most of Cure's northern army. And now we have the transition to Fleet Beacon. For Creator, realizing that the ground army ain't gonna cut it. He didn't commit and fail. He just vetoed the idea in the first place. So he hasn't suffered the losses to his unit composition that a lot of the time we see in the mid-game. In fact, Creator has plenty of money in the bank. It's Cure who's struggling to keep his investments more stable. He is maxed out now. He's got 2-2 on the way. Advanced ballistics, 3-3. The Vikings out in front. This Nexus will likely be annexed by the Terrans and taken out. Infantry weapons level 3 about to complete. Ship weapons, of course, benefits the Vikings as well, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Well, it definitely isn't a bad thing for Cure. What am I saying? Would you rather do more damage or less? A single Marauder sacrificed. +3 ground. The Ghost mixed in. What a dangerous looking army there. Building armor's on the way. 3 more command centers for Cures. We're locking things down and heading to the end game. Or at least the late game. The end game, in my opinion, is when everything starts mining out. Oh my god. This madman is killing his own Colossi under shield batteries. Wow. When Creator does something, he does not mess around. He's like, I need to free up some supply. Get over here. Thomas. The Colossus. Alright. Why are you calling me like that? Just Tom. We said this. It's going to be Tom. Anyway, stand still, Tom. What do you mean stand? Oh my god. Well, Creator clearly wants carriers, and he wants as many of them as possible before Cure realizes what's happening. If Cure killed those Colossi himself, nuclear missile launch, by the way, will Creator realize? Oh my god, we'll go to the Creator cam. Yeah, he spots it. Oh wait, Disruptor. Disruptor, he didn't actually see exactly where the Ghost was. He got him away, but the Terran army, he's using this as the nuclear distraction. And it works out, Cure. He got a bunch of damage done. Thing is about killing your own Colossi is, oh god, the Disruptors, the EMPs over everything, the Marauders doing terrible, terrible damage, but the Storm comes out just in time. Eventually I'll finish that sentence. A DT is warped in. Feedbacks, 0 out of 5. Murdered my friends. Feedbacks do the damage, but the scan is good. Over to the left, another. This Nexus may never happen. A Ghost got behind the mineral line on hold fire, holstered his weapon and waited for another nuke. Is it finally time? Killing your own Colossi means it's less obvious you're switching your unit composition. If Creator fought and lost a couple Colossi, well then Cure might be thinking, well, what are you building now? But since he killed his own Colossi, well, now he sees the carrier, so that's not going to matter so much. The nuke. The nuke. It's going to clear out the pylons. A surprisingly efficient way of dealing with static defense. I lied. It didn't even kill a bot. And now, oh my god, they're both just murdering their own armies. He's shooting his own Marines. God, what a brutal game. Meanwhile, the SCVs are like, don't worry about us. We're just here to repair. And now we're going to move right on. Right, guys? Real quick. Yep. Yep. These guys are fucking insane. Oh my god. 8 Vikings at a time. Whole Scandinavia Vikings here. For Cure. Against the mass carrier. No, he knows, Creator. Okay, hiding the carriers doesn't work anymore. You've revealed the carriers. The carrier card has been played. Another nuke. Oh my. Creator. Fighting in the middle of the map. Just wants to free up probe supply. Well, the nuclear missile lands. The Disruptors over the Venn diagram of freedom. Well, we got a couple carriers on the way, plus 3 air weapons. And ground those are some upgrades we don't usually see all together. Plus 2 Protoss shields, air armor. He's got plus 3 ground armor and plus 3 air weapons as well, complementing it. Cure's at 333. Infantry and then ship weapons. No plating. Plating actually incredibly helpful against interceptors, so kind of something important to worry about here. The Viking count, and Liberator's not bad against interceptors as well. 25 Vikings. But historically and here today, Storm not a bad counter to Vikings. Of course, the Templar not quite in position there. The Liberators able to pop another Archon. Cure now with more money in the bank. Creator adding into pretty much every upgrade he hasn't yet checked off. DT Blink is on the way as well. But how do you stop this army? There's a turret push. The carriers have arrived. The medevacs, I'm not convinced that Cure wanted those. All right, he's got 28 Vikings. He's got a mech army now. His bio army is 9 Marauders, 5 Marines, and 7 Ghosts. There's a Nexus that's going to be mining in range of a sensor tower here. +1 plating completed. A meaningful upgrade at this stage of the game. The mass turret push. It's all coming together for Cure. The storms must land. There's no way to deal with that Viking ball otherwise. Especially, wait, does he have high sec? Of course he has high sec on the tracking. Storms, but doesn't actually kill any of the ghosts. And now, the missile, oh my god. Missile turrets left, right, and not too many in the center. The carriers are just gonna grind through it. A few charge lots out in front. There haven't been, well, the Viking fleet. There haven't been that many losses for a game of this length. And Cure has been insanely cost effective. So they both still have very large and in-charge armies. I do think it comes down to whether Creator can pick a fight at the right spot in order to deal with this just Sky Terran army. Oh my god, that's so many. 34 Vikings! He's trying to land a command center on the Nexus. The nuclear missile is gonna land, and it's not even nearly the most dramatic thing happening right now. Cure, his production is about to get cut off. The Liberators will take out the last semblance of real mining for Creator. I guess he has one base on the other side. The Zealots are out on the map. There's not that much of a ground army. He's forced to land the Vikings. The carriers are a bit disjointed. There has to be some Templar in there, right? That is the most important Warp Prism. Disruptor shot. A scouting disruptor. 33 probes dead. Liberators don't kill buildings. They're one weakness. Now what? DT's killing orbitals. Wait, how many orbitals are... There's only one orbital left. I mean, he has Ghost, so we can EMP potentially. So, neither player was willing to commit to fighting with these armies. Oh my god. That War Prism took a hit somewhere. I assume to this Widow Mine. Great foresight back here. If it takes another one, the game could end before it even really starts to. If he just flies over it again, I don't know if he realized what happened. Please. It's just out there in the middle of nowhere. Well, okay, he doesn't have all the Templar in there. Sensor tower is taken out by the DT Zealot combo. Somehow this Nexus is still alive. What? There are 2 observers. So, we went from... Unfortunately, this graph doesn't really tell the story. We went from both sides mining 4,000 minerals a minute to less than 1,000 now. Less than even one base of mining. So, disruptor shot gets a ghost, but the Vikings up against 10 carriers. We have 43 Vikings. Oh my god! But the storm clips a lot of them. The Venn diagram of freedom, though, from the Liberators. But there's nothing to really kill the cannons. Oh my god. He has a few... There's not that many medevacs left. The ghost can... Well, Creator can't afford to replace his interceptors very easily here. If he loses another few dozen of them, they're 15 minerals a pop. Well, this planetary will likely go down. There's a Templar wandering across the field. The Liberators are sieging up. Here, just looking for that one fight. The storm isn't quite there. EMP. And the carriers are recalled to the Nexus. The Nexus is still here. There's not even that much that can shoot it. I guess the Vikings could land, but they're not gonna land. There's like there's 3 Marauders, 3 Marines, and 4 Ghosts, and that's the extent of things that can hit buildings right now. He's gonna land. Okay, he's like, all right, middle ground. 3 Vikings. There are 2 orbitals, so we must have rebuilt 1 somewhere. The Vikings are chasing things down. The Liberator's working on the ground army. Where are the Templar? There's only 1 Templar. The carriers in the corner of the map being hunted down. And that kind of feels like checkmate. As now the Vikings hit the deck where they'll be surprisingly vulnerable to DTs. Whoa, whoa, whoa! The Vikings will find the carriers again. Wait, there's not... Okay, another storm. The DT blink. Does he have a scan? Well, Cure will wipe the army out of the sky with more Vikings than I think I've ever seen on the field simultaneously. It was, I think 43 was the highest, maybe slightly more at some point, but the Protoss fleet pales in comparison to Terran ingenuity. In that war of attrition, the problem for Creator is he started running out of money. You have to continually replace those interceptors. If you have the carriers alive, the upkeep cost of those carriers can sometimes be your downfall. And economic stability is not really something you can find easily in the Terran versus Protoss late game. So a bit of a bloody nose, maybe a bit more. In game 1, as Cure proves that the Terran late game is more than competitive with the Protoss. But hold your balance, whining. Creator's not done. Well, I say that now. We're only... Thing is, Cure never really suffered a defeat. He was stopped, but he was never... He never lost a battle outright. Like the first attack where... The first attack where he went in with the Ravens and scrambled the Colossi. He didn't lose that fight, but he certainly didn't win. He was able to turn around with most of his army, retreat, and hold on to his third. And that kind of scenario, I think, repeated itself 3, 4, 5 times. Where Creator was on the doorstep and Cure said, "No, sir, you cannot come in." And then eventually we got to a base trade scenario, which almost always, they say don't base trade a Terran. And there's a good reason for that. And it's not just they thrive on chaos, but instead trying to maintain economic stability with widow mines dotting the field, with mules, with turrets everywhere. With that, how many turrets? Looked like Cure had Tourette's syndrome there by the end. But instead, it was a legitimate strategy to whittle down the carriers. If a turret kills 7, 8 interceptors, it's paid for itself. Which sounds like a lot, but the interceptors don't have too much HP. Especially with high sec auto tracking ability. It's not about paying for itself so much as holding that ground without supply. I do love, we saw both players slaughtering multiple of their own units just to replace them more quickly, which, you know, is one of my pet peeves. Whenever I see someone has like 90 workers and decides to send 20 across the map where they take another 45 seconds to die. I haven't seen it too much lately, but you could just kill them yourself. It seems wrong, but history is written by the victors. So what to you may seem like amoral slaughter, to the victor may seem like acceptable sacrifices in the face of progress. Another acceptable sacrifice, being creative. I've said, both here with some commentary and on stream, I think the only real build right now for Protoss that gives you a solid chance of maintaining any sort of edge in the early game without being a gamble is 3-gate Robo Blink. This build that Creator is doing. You can nail down exactly the build because it's so common. The reason is because The Blink Stalkers give you some semblance of map control. Until there is Stim, Combat Shield, and enough medevacs. The Terran can't really move out against Blink Stalkers, not without taking a huge risk. And the Robo is because Widow Mines exist, mostly. And the occasional Cyclone all-in, which gives you the ability to get Immortals. Oh yeah. Alright, here comes the mine. Pulls back. The sacrifice, we're going to do some Prairie Dog micro. Pull, sacrifices the mine. There's still... This is one of the most half-hearted Widow Mine drops I've ever seen. But the key point, and I'm not saying that the 3-gate Twilight Robo or the 3-gate Blink Robo puts the Protoss in a winning position. The point is, it is the only build that kind of covers many of the shenanigans that Terran has access to, especially with the new balance patch and the earlier presence of things like Cyclones. So, having that blink as well gives you a potential. Sometimes you'll see it kind of parlayed into an all-in. You just slap on a warp prism, you start warping in stalkers, boom, 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 blink into the main, get slammed by siege tanks, pick up 4 stalkers in a warp prism, and pretend like it wasn't a sad defeat. Or occasionally win by, like, sniping Stim and stuff. But that's not happening here. Creator took a third. Cure was rebuffed by the stalkers, even before blink complete. There's charge on the way. So, Creator is going essentially the exact opposite direction. Last game, he climbed the tech tree as quick as he could. Phoenixes into Colossi. He's just swinging from branch to branch. But instead now we're growing outwards, like a shrubbery. The Protoss tech shrubbery, which makes sense because Protoss are plants. Yep, and Cure just saw it. He's going from blink and adding on charge lots with some Immortals. So this time around, Creator, instead of going up the tech tree, is expanding his base. We'll see how much damage he's able to get done. There is a Warp Prism to the north side, and charge is 10 seconds away. Cure knows what he's dealing with, but he's not going to have the combat shield. He's not going to have +1. And how much is he going to have in the main? Most of his army, so he's quite aware. At least for now. Was the third base? Oh my god, Cure doesn't know about the third, but that is actually playing into his hand right now. Because if Cure knew there was a third, he'd probably be playing more aggressive at this stage. But since he's probably assuming it, but it definitely isn't a sure thing. That is a lot of charge loss. Yeah, Cure moving out. Combat shield not done, +1 not done with them. There's the blink into the main with a hallucinated Phoenix. The siege tank says, excuse me, sir, this is private property. And Creator says, I'll show you my... Oh, anti-armor missile. Kiting back, +1 is done. Some auto turrets slapped out as well. And, well, this charged lot attack is whittled down by some Dorito dust almost before it starts. Creator tried to dive into the main. Pushed back by the siege tank. Tried to charge in towards the third. And gets whittled down to size. Not over yet. He's not done. He's getting double forge and a robo bay. But, well, into the main. What? An immortal drop? Okay, well that's certainly one way to counter siege tanks. They're very angry. They're gonna take out all the depots. Ah, I hate things that could be used as doors. Yes, half of our tech might involve gateways, but shut up, I hate Terran. Well, quite a gateway army back at home here. The bio army. Do we see an anti-armor missile? Indeed we do. Softens up a whole bunch. Oh, the Colossus is about to complete though. Pops out just in time. And the Widow Mines mostly dealt with. That Colossus came out at the last possible second. If it was a little earlier, Cure would have prepared for it. A little later and it's just dead. Well, He's juggling. The War Prism came back with the Immortals. The Colossus is juggled back. Beautiful micro out of Creator. Cure trying to get the damage done, but it goes the wrong way. And it ends up something of a disaster. Creator once again pulls back just in time to shut down Cure. And he's gonna get a few Marauders and a medevac at least for his trouble. The second one, blink. It's not gonna happen. Now, this time around, that was a decisive victory. Cure not able to seize on the moment before the Colossus gets overrun by the sheer production. And now Creator, well, he doesn't have much of a supply lead, but he has map control. And that can be a more important thing. And you see the supply immediately as each warping comes through. It's a bit misleading, as much of the time we're waiting for another warping. He's got 72 probes, just over 3 base saturation, plenty of gas there. Oh, Widow Mine. Wait, Widow Mine? I think a Widow, yes, indeed. A Widow Mine took out, it wasn't the Prism, but one of the Stalkers. And that was taken out in turn as Cure. Maybe just finished the armory? Not actually sure. Well, either way. Turret tried to take down the Colossus, a brave but futile endeavor. That was a lot of Protoss. Creator really trying to lean on this right now. Widowmine drop at the back, though. 5 probes down. Ah, there's another one. Well, he's not having it. No, at the front as well. The splash damage, but there's just not that much army here. The boys will be pulled. It is just one Colossus and another army coming in. The Colossus getting great hits on the Marines. The War Prism being targeted. The Colossus is microed back just in time. 31 SCVs down. The Vikings might be enough to help deal with this, but he's lost so much economy. Another medevac on the way back. He's still juggling. He's gonna be... Wow! At the last possible moment, micros back. The Colossus gets a warping. The mine finally taken out by a cannon. The Colossus took a wrong turn and walked right up into the Marauders. The Widow Mines recharge and fire again. But Cure has been beaten down, and I think he's been broken. 49 SCVs is altogether too many for even a Terran to recover from. And yes, the Widow Mines took a toll on the other side, but Creator took much more from Cure. Well, the mules are gonna try to be something of a stopgap here, but that is quite a chasm to bridge. It's something. It's not enough. Cure at 69 supply. Not very nice in this scenario. The Marauders, the Vikings. Cure is gonna have 2-2. I do appreciate not just leaving the game. Alright, I've seen Clem leave enough games in the middle of that last fight that I do appreciate Cure fighting it to the bitter end. But it does seem the end is coming. The charge lockout is so damn high. Widowmine forces the turnaround. Does he have? He does have that observer back there. There's a single ghost, +2. Oh, the orbital is taken out. God, he's really trying to wrangle those charge lots, just chopping at the bit. But Creator, he got the orbital. He got all the SCVs. There's not much left to be done. Cure's trying to take advantage of maybe an upgrade. Oh, there's just a tide of charge lots. He's using them as a meat shield there. Guardian Shield Sentry taken out. There's just too many of them. We cannot get out. They are charging. Well... Okay, Cure, would you die already? Sir, respectfully. He's still juggling. That War Prism has been the focus of all of this. That War Prism, the entire game is hinged upon it. The Warpins and the Micro. And he builds his victory off of it. Creator strikes back with quite a beautiful bit of Protoss Micro, but Cure just unable to take advantage of any of these situations. Oh god, that was a game of split seconds. That Colossus coming out just in time. And the Blink Stalkers not quite able to get so close yet. So far at the end. One of those that just falls apart almost all at once. and much more concise. Now, the little mini game. I guess the not mini game, as it's more than one game. But does Creator stick with the Blink Robo, or does he go back to something a bit more creative? Game 3, Hecate. Scouting for proxy Rex. I mean, I guess he could proxy, but this is mostly... I'm not dealing with these goddamn Reapers. I don't... I want to take the relatively calm early game and say thank you guys for watching. I don't know. Sometimes there's ups and downs when it comes to... But I legitimately enjoy commentating every day. I think I found a good balance between streaming, which I still do most days of the week. Check it out at Vampire Hours if you're awake. You're up too early or up too late. But I've been really enjoying it. And I do like the vast majority of the comments. Your comments are amazing. That other guy's comments? Forgive the Terrans. They don't get out much. But I would know. I'm 1/3 Terran myself. So. But thank you for watching. And I am legitimately interested to see what Creator has in store here. I have been quite critical of both Terran and Protoss in different ways. From my high horse in the back seat, which is very difficult to fit in the back seat of anything. But a Stargate it is. Here, going with the Scouting Hellion. I haven't seen that one for a bit. Usually the Cyclone is the choice, because the Cyclone essentially invalidates anything but a Stalker early, as it outranges all of those things. The Adept is spotted. The Stargate, I don't think the Stargate failed to be effective in Game 1. It was a very odd start. Kira recognized it was a Stargate quite early on, and pulled back with the Mind Drop. And the Stargate doesn't necessarily mean, like, we could easily see Star Charge, Phoenix Charge Lock. Historically, also, essentially the second most popular Phoenix-based build outside of the Colossi. Phoenix and the Blink, much less likely. Partially because it's so expensive, and partially because it's almost impossible to control both those units simultaneously. There's the Robo. A bit of fancy micro back and forth with the Adepts. Very interesting to see the shield battery placement. I think that's something to help deal with, like, potentially be used as a staging area for the third, while also potentially walling off the natural. It clearly isn't to protect the natural mineral line. But that might be something to steal and add in. I'm always on the lookout. Marine drop here. Definitely an odd one. Targeting a conspicuous pylon at the Reaper wall, picks up, and at the natural, Hellion gets in. The Phoenixes should be able to dispatch it with relative ease, but... oh, this is just depressing. Doesn't really do anything too drastic. Depowers one gate, Warp Gate's already done, but... many times using anything resembling a wall against them, as Terran units almost always have superior range to their Protoss counterparts, with some notable exceptions. Alright, there are 3 Widow Mines in this picture. You want to guess? I can't actually say that for sure. I think there's just one. Right there. You see, I'm looking for it this time. He's not going to fool me again. Fool me once. and I won't be fooled again. Okay, there is just one Widow Mine. I'm just... to be sure, to be clear. Colossus chrono boosted. Did he get Interference Matrix? Indeed he did. Cure still going for the Raven build. Stim, +1 on the way. Missing something conspicuous there. Let's see it. And the combat. And combat shield. Thank you. But the Colossus is already out. Creator, banking that chrono to invest in the Robo. It's a big part of many early game builds. Chrono Boost, I feel like Chrono Boost gets kind of overlooked in how important it is for bringing all these builds together. Protoss is balanced around Chrono Boost, for better or worse. That's the reason why their units in general take quite a while to complete, as you can use that Chrono Boost to speed them out and get a very powerful unit significantly quicker. Same with upgrades as well. But a lot of players don't really think too hard about where the chrono goes. It's more of a thing you slap on when you're panicking, as opposed to something you plan for as part of your build. But clearly, Creator has a plan for this one. Those Phoenixes hanging out. Cure with quite an army ready to move across. Extended Thermal Lance. He is finishing up soon. Combat shield as well. We got all the fixins here. How many gates? Only 3 for Creator. His ground army is present, but nothing particularly dangerous. He's just now building the Twilight, so of course Cure here's gonna go straight for the Reaper wall area. Yet again. Down goes one piece, but he gets a Raven. That's a huge pickup. That means at least one Colossus will survive this fight. Tries to drag in the Widow Mines. Unfortunately, loses one of his sentries there. Anti-armor missile as well. Dorito dusting the Colossus, and now the medevacs pick up into the main. He recalls to it. The Colossi are already badly bruised. The anti-armor missile helping out a lot. And Cure clears up the Cyber Core as well. That's going to have to be rebuilt if he ever wants to build Stalkers or, other tech again. The Cyber Core is rebuilt, but Creator a bit supply blocked here as well. Cure does have a 3rd command center on the way. He's building the orbital now. Another drop. Widow Mines. Don't find too much. A scan. Will he stim in for that Colossus? That's a lot of Zealots. It's just a meat shield there. Oh, the Interference Matrix opens up the way here. He might be able to just target down the Robo Bay during all this. And that Colossus just has to stand by and watch. The Robo Bay itself, Extended Thermal Lance is done, but that will be the last Colossus for a while. 3 of them still on the field. And the Phoenixes, the Raven just kind of standing by, taken out with relative ease. Phoenixes drag the mines in, and it looks like Creator will be able to clean up this attack, though at what cost? Question. Oh no, he ends up losing a few more Phoenixes as well. I think it went from maybe a marginal victory for Creator to, and that's a technical term at the end there, especially now that Cure's just taken out the 4th neg. He just takes it out. It's free there. Creator gonna go for a full-on base trade, trying to take advantage. Oh, the Widow Mines. Getting caught rallying out. Those are non-charge lots, so the charge is about to finish. The force field still not, well, they lock it up. Actually, well, the force fields are now blocking in blocking out the Zealots. Classic force field. The Colossi are here. The turret, quite helpful. The turret doing a dangerous amount of damage to the Colossi. Base trade, here we go. Oh my god. Not again. Except the economies are already so low. There's not much left. He's in the main. How long on recall? There is no energy to recall. There's a recall in the main. Potentially. The Immortal being taken out. EMP. There's not that much to kill the Colossi. Another EMP. These Colossi in autumn colors. How seasonal. And in the main, still waiting for that bioarmy to do something. couple Vikings, just one Viking out. He's cornered here. There's not much left to do for Cure. He's backed into a corner against the edge of the map. 67 SCVs slaughtered, leaving exactly 0 on the field. The orbitals are in the air. Oh my god. Wait. Okay, Creator has built another Nexus, recognizing that we're going to a full-on, absolutely redonkulous base trade. The Colossi. How many kills? 19, 18. I'm trying to click on the 26. About even. About 70 kills between them. That's not good enough. The Flying Orbital will scout the Nexus here. The Phoenixes are chasing down another one. Cure. His orbitals are all on the edge of burning, if not actively doing so. That orbital is like 30 HP from burning. This one, maybe 100. A couple hits from the Phoenix would be enough. Cure's setting up. What is his army? He's got 1-1. Both sides have +1. The barracks are burning. Oh my god. So Creator kept almost as many probes as he started with. And is now mining yet again. Cure is not supply blocked, as he still has plenty of depots, which the Zealots are going to look to fix here. Are there any observers? No. Is there an armory? No. So the Widow Mines are not permanent fixtures. The Immortal here. Cure has a retake in his main. A single Marine just making sure the base doesn't get repowered. He's gonna try to kill this Prism. Unfortunately, no Vikings. Oh, he targets the Immortal, but the Warp Prism, if there has been a defining characteristic here, it's been Warp Prism Micro. The army pulling back immediately. He knows Cure's gonna be gunning for him. Well, SCVs are being rebuilt, gone from 0 to 5. The army itself, Creator's starting to get quite confident, despite the fact he has to restart his tech from the beginning. He even had to build a gateway. Build the Nexus. You can't build a gateway without a Nexus. Fun fact. Maybe not so fun. Alright, the Widowmine is taken out. Cure, wishing an armory was still alive here. Might be a game-winning move. An orbital is kind of scouting, but there's a probe back at home. He uses a scan. Some incredibly valuable energy on a scan. And he's got to figure this out. Cure, time is not on his side. The probe. Oh, he could fight! The probe just goes by! The pylon's not gonna die in time. There's 2 warp prisms. Were there 2 warp prisms this whole time? The orbital! Cure. Oh my god. We could have a draw. If Cure, there's not that many minerals. There's 1 probe. Wait, how many probes? Is this every probe? Okay. Cure might be fighting for a draw here. Well, how many Phoenixes are left? 0. That's not very many. Storm is on the way from the Templar Archives in the main. Now, are there any Templar? There's 1. The orbital's burning. He uses a scan. The SCV is repairing, but it's still burning, which is making life even harder. Cure is running out of minerals. There's still some SCVs out on the map. How many probes? Did Creator get a probe out? Did he get a probe? There's a recall's on cooldown. There's not enough minerals for another Nexus. There's a probe. There's a probe somewhere. If he gets the Nexus, there's a probe. But, no, if he cancels Storm, he can build a Nexus. if he cancels Storm. That's it. That's your only choice. Otherwise, it's a draw. Creator has not rebuilt his base and is being revealed. And Cure says, I've done it. And Creator, the last probe, the SCV. It'll see the probe. But he has the minerals. He puts the probe VIP service. This is a draw without that probe. There is no way. Well, no, it isn't. By the way, I'm just saying. Even if Cure gets another Nexus, he kills the probe, gets another Nexus, he could repower the Stargate with his Warp Prism and build a Phoenix. Well, he could if he had a Stargate. Not that I don't know if I've ever seen a repowered building used in a base trade scenario. There's still enough. Creator is holding on to it. He knows that Cure knows he's being revealed. He's going to let Cure think he's going to eliminate. Oh my god. Oh, this is some high stakes poker here. Creator knows he has the winning card. But Cure's army is still strong enough that there is risk. Cure says, is it a draw? And Creator says no. I don't know if that's what he said, but I'm almost certain. That was a quick response from whatever Creator said, though. Creator says, I've won. You can leave now. Cure says, really? The building count dwindles. Where is that prism with the probe? The most important unit. The prism has been the most important unit for 3 games in a row. Creator has rebuilt his base and is no longer... Oh my god. Cure. So, there's still... Well... He's got to keep a building in the corner. It's now very much Creator's game to lose. That probe is still in the prism. He's just protect... Oh my god, it's not burning. A scan! He spots it! He drops the orbital. Cure is gonna try to re-land in his main. His once and future main. The building count is dwindling. 2 orbitals and a starport versus 7 pylons, a nexus, and a gateway. Creator's chrono boosting probes like it's the 2-minute mark. How has it come to this? I mean, I know how. These two just won't fight each other. So, somehow, well, that zealot. A scan. He's gotta go. He has no choice. He may just go for the probes. He knows he has to fight. Gets a zealot. There is no storm, if you remember. He had to cancel storm to still be in this game. Looks like Cure's gonna try to build again. We're gonna try to restart from nothing. I wanted to see the Warp Prism on the Stargate plane. Oh, a scan! There's not... Creator still has the army, but there's no reason to take the risk. Time pressure is on Cure, who has no mining, who has no production. Did he lose the starport? Yep, he lost the starport. At this point, Creator has a pretty good bead on exactly how much is left. That Warp Prism can easily help micro the Colossi back. Oh, the orbitals. Both of them. The last two buildings. GG! It ends! A technical knockout, but a knockout nonetheless. And that's not even the end of it. Oh my god. That just brings us to match point.
Hell, it's about time.
Cure, fighting for a draw. As he realizes, and Creator with the presence of mind to keep it together just long enough. Whoa. I'm not sure Creator is showing us the decisive Protoss versus Terran style that he alluded to in the past, not too long ago. This is certainly not comfortable victories. But winning by 1 probe or 100, it's a victory nonetheless. As we go to Game 4, Golden Aura. And our Protoss player Creator up 2-1 over Liquid Cure. I gotta say, Liquid Cure is a pretty sick name. Alright, second only to Liquid Skill, aka Skillless, but that's what he shortened it to. Maybe if he plays many more games like that, he'll get himself some Liquid Cure down at the bar later. Because that one, I don't know exactly what was said, but I know Creator knew. I know that Creator knew that he was holding all the cards. Cure could have suspected, but there's no way he has that information on the probe. Or exactly, you can't know. That's the most difficult and most dramatic part of that stage of StarCraft 2. Neither of you know how many minerals are left, exactly how many workers are left. Imperfect information indeed. And wow. Madness. I think Cure definitely could have consolidated his forces and held together more of his base. But at the same time, Creator could have set himself up in a much better scenario to base trade than he did, as he kind of wandered into the main with Colossi. Almost lost one to a turret. Like, this has been a series of chaos. And so far, Creator has maintained the slightly more level head. We haven't had a single game that just... I guess maybe the game on Solaris was kind of a little more standard, but still ended with a confusing amount of units. Stargate on the way, yet again. Only one Twilight Blink game, at least so far. Creator does seem to be defaulting to this Stargate, and the Stargate gives you a lot of options. The Cure, I don't know if the probe blocked him. I was too busy reminiscing about 5 minutes ago, but I don't know if the probe blocked him or if he just misclicked it, but 2 Hellions should beat 1 to death. Well, he shouldn't lose the hell. Oh my. Ooh. It's about to hurl that glaive, but just barely taken out. Oh, Cure. Double Widowmine. He's reverted to his true self. The reactored Widowmine drop. The strategy that won him a GSL Finals against Zest. Come back to assess. And now, he comes back to again in this ESL Finals. The mine drop on the way. How many Phoenixes will there be? 3. enough to defuse most of the situation. I'll see what he does with the Hellions to try to distract, as almost certainly that is the intent. Just dives directly in with the mines, picks up 1, picks up 2, picks up 3. There was a 4th, right? The bomb has been defused. Oh, wait, no! 4 kills. 5. And then Cure just leaves the medevac, says, well, you're probably dead anyways. A mine survived the pickup and managed to burrow. Was it worth it? If he had just gotten that last mine, maybe. I think overall, still better off for Creator. He killed 2 Hellions. He got the medevac, which is not a guarantee. Killed all the mines. Losing 5 probes was a blow he probably didn't need to take, but here we are. Phoenix is gonna try to just dive on the Raven. Takes a lot of damage in the process. Adept gets a little too far forward, but looks like it'll be okay for now. Gonna need to repair that Phoenix. Or a Raven, rather. Can't repair the Phoenix. Or at least it's considered treason. What is up here? Oh, the Raven snuck out. A different Raven. We're gonna try to slap some auto turrets down. There is a shield battery in the main, though. So, good foresight there. Possibly to help deal with the Hellions earlier. Though the auto turrets will be able to power through the battery. He gets 2 kills. The Phoenixes are on their way back, as you might expect. Looks like Cure gonna use the Raven to just buy time here. Just sends 1 I like that. Instead of committing everything and giving away that you brought all your Phoenixes back, we know he did, out of reflex, but... Creator's kept very good track of his Phoenixes, at least outside of the fights here. He's definitely gotten them whittled down in the fights, but you really... At the very least, that's when you're trading. You can't be losing them early on. Sure, he's being very wary of any Widowmines. Thankfully for him, the Widowmines just now popping out. He's going to pick up... Turret gets 1 of the Phoenixes. Recall. Over to the 3rd. Combat shield. Stim +1. Triple threat on the way. Not quite done yet. There is interference matrix on the Raven. First Colossi comes stepping out. The clear target. Oh yeah, once again without combat shield. Very hard to engage in here. 6, 2, 1, and now's the time. Cure's gonna go. Interference matrix. It's the Colossus. The damage output is there. Shield battery overcharge used. Force field. Force field makes it so the Zealots don't get too antsy. Widow Mines are helpful. Creator will hold. Colossus still intact. Another Colossus. Well, I think that's Colossus 3 is on the way. That's a critical one. That's the one that makes it essentially impossible to fight with Marines. Because they will get burnt to a crisp, even with the medevacs. 2 Colossi doesn't quite do it. The Marauders, of course, are still good, but at this stage of the game, 3 Colossi should be enough, with any cover, to hold the line. Widowmine drop loaded up. Cure does not have an armory. Creator should be looking here. He is. This will drag some attention back, and more importantly, the Phoenixes. For at least a moment. Another medevac is taken out of Cure. Yeah, the timing... Oh, wait, did an armory... Oh. Okay, another one. It just broke. Templar Archive is built. 2 Templar Archives, even. Make it up for last game. He's got Templar Archives on each base. Alright. It's not city skylines, alright. You don't need one that's too close by. Why not? All right, better to have it or not. And, well, last game, if it's any indicator, Templar definitely helpful. Now, Raven's still alive here. There's a lot of Phoenixes and no Vikings on the field. Just building the first two now. Here, another mine drop. This one picked up. They're doing a great job, but the Phoenixes dragged out of position. He's defusing the mines. The Colossi, a scan. He picks up, but there's not enough medevacs to pick up the whole army. Here come the Phoenixes. Oh, he just snipes off the Forge and the Robo-Bay. Maybe the decoy Templar archives will come in handy here. That Colossus, he actually picks up. They'll expect some of us in the wreckage. And the Raven will just kind of die, hanging out here. Oh, beautiful split on the Phoenix. Well, it looked beautiful, but then, like, half of them just died. Both sides a bit lackluster control on their air units here as the fight continues and stumbles off to the side. The Archon, hit by the Cyclone, may actually be taken out. Indeed it is. The ground army, Cure still maintains a supply lead, but reinforcements are not on the way here. Where are the rest of Cure's units? He needs help. The War Prism dies. A very important win there. A single Colossus comes in for the flank, plus what air weapons has done. By the time, though, Cure is able to join up with his reinforcements. Well, he does. There is an observer. There is a very important observer. The Widow Mines require a defusal. The Vikings are on the way. He goes for the observer with the Vikings, you filthy Terran. The Widow Mines pull back. EMP. The observer still helping out a lot. I can't believe Cure targeted. I can believe it, but I targeted the observer with the Vikings right off the bat. Disgusting. Another one picked off. And more. Oh, darting back. Another War Prism. I think he rebuilt it the moment he lost the first one, knowing how important it is to be able to maintain the attack. Creator actually has a lot of money in the bank. He's got 4 bases. Cure has managed to establish his 3rd. Creator's gonna attack into quite a concave here. This seems ill-advised. The Colossi are burning through some of the Widow Mines, but oh my god, the boys are pre-pulled, and now it's Creator who's leading Cure into a choke point here. The Colossi are burning through. 10 SCVs down so far. Cure trying to win a decisive battle, but the Slugfest sees his army as the one burnt to a crisp. Great micro on the Widow Mine. Oh, not the Widow Mines, of course not. But the Colossi are pulled back into the Prism. And not the decisive victory I think either side was hoping for, but Creator definitely getting the better end. 1 Colossus picked off by the Vikings. 30 SCVs have died. It's not critical damage, but it's damn close. Cure cannot afford any more losses, and he can't afford his current production. He needs to keep it together. The Phoenixes, they bought so much time. The orbital itself is under fire in every sense of the word. And Cure just keeps chasing him into choke points here. Dodging Viking shots with Colossi into the Prism. 35 SCVs down. Creator has rebuffed his supply. Another Colossus. No, wait. That's the first Colossus. Still doing a lot of damage. He targets down the orbital. But Cure not able to find the fight he's looking for. And it's looking very good right now for Creator. Especially since Cure scanned the 4th base and just GG's. I think Cure just misreading that situation by a significant margin. Thinking that maybe Creator's all in and if he just crushes one fight. But he was led through a valley of literal fire. And Creator immolated him on the spot. Just absolutely burning away most of the bio. What a slugfest of brawl. My voice is actually gone after that. It's over. Creator takes it 3-1. Was it a decisive victory? Yes. Was it easy? That depends on your definition of the word. as 3-1 doesn't really show us how close it was to being a 3-1 in 5 games. A 3-1 in, well, could have easily gone the other way in many scenarios as well. I don't know what to think, but I'm kind of glad either way it's over, because I don't think I could handle another one. But hopefully you could. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next time. If you like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I hope I made your day a little bit better. I'll see you next time. Good luck. No, we already did that. Stay chill.